All right, wonderful. Hey guys, this is Renee Fouché here, and I'm trying to speak um, at a lower volume actually because I'm here in the library here in the Cayman Islands, right? So I just really wanted to do a quick video today and speak to you about wins. Sounds a little bit crazy, right? I think the title of this video is probably what got you here, and it is, who farted? So, today I wanted to talk to you. Many of you guys know that I've been reading the book Millionaire Fastlane, which I absolutely love. And I was reading actually an excerpt from the book, and it was speaking about headwinds and tailwinds. And this is something that I have actually trained on before, and it just brought it back to life that, okay, now that I'm utilizing video, I should go ahead and make a video about this because, when I've trained on it in the past, it has been a live training. So I wanted to talk to you guys really informally today about headwinds and tailwinds in your life and also in your business. Because as entrepreneurs, or whatever you are, you may be a employee at a business, whatever it is, you are your own direct vehicle on your path towards success. So in the Millionaire Fastlane, it talks about, whether you're on the sidewalk, whether you're in the slow lane, or whether you're on the fast lane toward wealth and success. So if you are wanting to be in the fast lane, right, let me just briefly kind of explain what's the difference. The sidewalk folks are the folks that don't want to do anything. They kind of just wish upon a star. They hope that they'll win the lotto. They figure that they can go to the casino. They can gamble their way to wealth, and obviously that doesn't happen, right? You can win money, but you can't win wealth. That's why there's so many people that win the lotto, and then actually they are broke just a few years later, probably in worse debt than they were in the beginning, right? So then the slow lane, and this may apply to you, the slow lane are those folks that prescribe to the traditional things that we've been brainwashed to believe that, you should go to school, for 4 to 8 years, pass your regular traditional schooling, and you should get a wonderful education. And then with that education, you should now go try to get a job. And then once you get a job, you can kind of work your way up this imaginary ladder, and 40 years later, um, hopefully you'll be at the top and that you've accumulated some type of wealth. Most folks know, or the wealthy ones know, that that's not how it works. Because otherwise they would go get a job and do that too. But instead, what do? They create jobs, right? So you're actually going to either be on the side of, you can only be one of two things. You can be an entrepreneur or you can be an employee, and you kind of just have to choose one. The entrepreneurs create the jobs, and then the employees come and get them. So, that's the slow lane. They say, you're not going to get rich quick. You're going to, I don't know what you're going to get. You're not even going to get rich slow. You're just going to die trying. So, that's what goes on in the slow lane. And then the fast lane are those that move themselves from consumer to producer and actually create jobs. They create products. They create jobs for the employees that want jobs. They create products for the consumers that want products. And by way of that, they actually create their own wealth. And it doesn't have to take 40 years. You don't have to, like I keep hearing people complaining about, and this video may go long, so, push pause, grab a drink, and sit down. I don't know. I think it's like when I put on this dress, I talk a lot. I don't know. But, a lot of folks, lost my train of thought talking about the dress. What were we saying? Folks think that that's the way to go. And unfortunately, there's so many people that have shown and proven that this plan does not work. But yet, by the time you realize it doesn't work, your life has essentially passed. You're 65 years old and saying, welcome to Walmart. How can I help you? So And by then, a whole new generation has now been indoctrinated into this thought process that you have to start this cycle over again. Go to school, get a job, work for 40 years, 40 plus hours a week, and at the end of 40 years, I don't know, there's like a magic rich button. It really doesn't ever happen. And then you have to really depend upon being alive to witness that. So, what if you work 39 years and then right before you're about to escape, you really escape? So um, the fast lane is more about creating um, your own wealth and not depending upon circumstances that you're not able to control and leverage to create it for you. You cannot control how long you will have a job. You can be the best worker ever and the company could close down. You cannot control your investments in 401k and such. Markets change, things change, inflation happens, and so your money can be worth less by the time you even get it out, if you can get it out. And so all of these are, if you're depending upon any of these things to grow wealth, and these are things that you cannot control, how is it benefiting you? All right, so beyond all of that, because I'm sure if you've been watching my videos, you guys kind of know how I feel about all those things, so we're not going to have to really rehash it, because today what we are talking about is wind, right? Wind can be such a powerful force. I mean, think about it. Have you ever been in a closed car and somebody farted? Oh my gosh, such a powerful force, right? But if you ever think about headwinds, have you ever been driving? Have you ever been driving and wind is going against you? Right? It is going to affect the speed and probably the velocity, if I paid attention at all in physics. Just a little. But it's going to affect the movement of that vehicle, right? And so in life and in business, we do encounter winds, right? And many times it can be headwinds. And quite honestly, headwinds can start right within your own head, right? In your own mind, by way of thoughts, memories, beliefs. Those can be headwinds for you, right? Because if you believe you can't do something, or something can't be done, or it'll never happen, you're generally going to prove yourself right over and over again. So those can be some of the headwinds. And I was trying to talk softly, and it's like, as I started this video, the volume is just going up in the library. So hopefully when I go back and edit this, it's gonna you guys will be able to hear me, whatever it is that I'm talking about, right? So right. So some of the headwinds can be created in your mind, right? You can be causing the slowing of your vehicle yourself, right, within your mind. They have a lot of, I don't know if you guys have ever learned or knew about self-sabotage, right? It's where you are actually taking actions that are affecting you. They're affecting your ability to succeed. They're affecting your relationships. They are having a tremendous effect on you, and you're actually doing it to yourself, right? It's like, okay, I really know that I need to do these steps in order to accomplish this goal, but then instead you sit down and watch TV, right? Or you go sit and play video games for 5 hours. And you know that clearly watching TV and playing video games is not going to accomplish the goal. You knew what the steps were, but you just chose to do something else. And then you say, oh my gosh, I can't believe it didn't work. Well, kind of mess it up yourself, right? So that can be a significant headwind for you. So it's very important, as I always discuss, is to kind of, make sure that you're always changing your thoughts to make sure that they are positive and they are empowering to the goals that you're trying to accomplish. So beyond that, sometimes it can be family and friends. When you tell them you have this great idea and this is this wonderful thing that I'm going to do, and they go, I don't think that's really going to work. You really think people are going to buy that? Oh, who are you going to get to do that now at this time of year, right? Those are all headwinds because those are things that can slow your vehicle down where you now it changes your own beliefs because when other people don't believe in you, sometimes it can totally affect you, right? So, very important to get those things in order. Now, the thing about headwinds is that it is still a wind, right? It is still wind. It still has power, but the difference is that you need to actually turn your back to it, right? Because then it becomes a tailwind instead of a headwind, and it can propel you forward. It means you have to probably turn your back sometimes on the naysayers, the people that don't believe. I mean, think about the Wright brothers. When they said that they were going to create a vehicle that could fly and float into the air, basically it was going to defy gravity. And everyone was like, yeah, right. How's that going to work? You guys are crazy. You need to just stop that. You're just wasting your time. You need to just give up, right? Now, what if they did that? What if they had given up on what they thought they could achieve basically just because of the fact that it did not go along with societal norms? Because that's normally what happens is when you have a great idea, it's a great idea because it's something that hasn't already been put in place or thought of. Um, it's against what is already going on, and so you're going to have people that don't believe. And so if you allow their flatulent wind to become a headwind, it can stop you from achieving those goals. Whereas if you turn your back to them, like how the Wright brothers did, they was like, yeah, watch this, you can use that as a tailwind to propel you forward, right? Um, in the book, it uses an example of children in a kindergarten class. If you go into a kindergarten class and ask a group of children who here can sing, everyone raises their hand, right? Because nobody tells a kindergartner, oh, you can't sing, your voice sounds horrible. So everyone believes that they can sing. If you fast forward 10 years from then and you go into that class of even those same children and you say, who here can sing? Only 3 or 4 of them are going to raise their hands because as they get older, people get comfortable telling you that you can't do something, right? When you are a child, you have the belief that you can do anything that you wish to accomplish. And, as you get older, you get people that want to come and piss on your parade and tell you what you cannot do. And so many of us actually internalize that and start to believe that we can't do things when you can actually do anything that you put your mind to, right? So that's a little bit about what I wanted to talk about with the headwinds and tailwinds is actually being able to turn your back to the naysayers and actually just let them propel you. Now, I want to take it a step further and, you know, headwinds and tailwinds, if you're inside of a vehicle, those are outside forces, right? Your family, you can probably go home, hopefully, if you don't live with them. Eventually you can just go home and not pay them any mind. Friends, you can just not pick up the phone, not hang out with them. There's many ways to turn your back to them. But what about when you have a passenger inside of your vehicle that is just distracting the hell out of you, right? What if the passenger in your vehicle, number one, there's one instance where the passenger in your vehicle is not even in agreement with where the vehicle is going, right? So they're constantly down talking or downplaying or criticizing your path that you're trying to take, right? Because they don't agree. Oh, this is so dumb. Oh my gosh, see, you made that turn. It looks so ridiculous, right? Those are things that can happen when you have such a passenger in your car, but it's like, how did they get in? The wind is outside. I turned my tail to it and I'm going, but what's happening over here in the passenger seat? Well, what happens in the passenger seat is that, most people are in some type of a relationship, whether it's your husband, your wife, fiance, girlfriend. I don't know how pertinent jump offs are. They're very pertinent with being in the passenger seat, but whoever it is that you allow to ride shotgun can be detrimental to your journey Because if you're driving and they're constantly turning the radio on and off and changing it and humming and turning the window up and down and they're making it cold and they're making it hot and they're friggin' complaining every minute, you're probably going to crash, right? And this works the same way in real life. If you have a partner that is not supportive of you and what it is that you're trying to accomplish, that can be absolutely detrimental, not only to your relationship, but then also to your business, your goals, whatever your dreams are. You can also have issues there as well. Um, and sometimes it takes a while for it, and then it's years that have passed, and now everything is crumbling. If you take 10, 15 years to figure out that this person is not supportive, I need to give them the boot. 10, 15 years have passed that you haven't been able to accomplish what you wanted to accomplish because they're always like this in your ear, right? So it's really important to select your shotgun passenger very, very carefully, because you could have a passenger that is a wonderful person. This is not to say that your choice of person is not a great person. They may have a great personality, loving, affectionate, and all of that wonderful stuff, and you may just have to weigh out how important that is versus the achievement of your dreams and goals. Because what if they're loving and wonderful and passionate and all of that great stuff, and 10 years later they turn into some head spinning demon, and now you've taken up all these years not accomplishing what you wanted to accomplish because it wasn't in full congruence. So I'm not telling anyone to, here's my disclaimer, don't run and go like divorce your husband or wife, or, put people out on the street as soon as you finish watching this video. It's just, I want you to be able to actually think about that, because a lot of times love, I always say, you don't fall in love, you kind of just fall in stupid, because any good sense that you had before, all of a sudden it just goes out the window and you just get dumb, right? So it's important prior to that to kind of take a look at what it is that you're wanting to do and make sure that it's in congruence with the person that you're considering letting sit in your passenger seat, right? Because you guys need to be able to switch. One person can't drive consistently all the time, right? Each person needs to be able to be a good passenger to the others. And if you have a partner that is of a slow lane mentality and you're in the fast lane mentality, first of all, they're going to be friggin' petrified in that passenger seat, right? And then when it's time for them to drive, you're going to want to pull out your hair and like get out and just run alongside the car, because it's like, is this thing standing still? Right? So that was my brief message. Oh, it was kind of brief. Looks like we'll be right about 20 minutes or so, right? Hopefully you made it all the way through the video. It's interesting enough. But yeah, so let's recap. Headwinds and tailwinds. Don't allow anybody to become your headwinds. Stop you to a grinding halt. Like, don't allow it. Turn your back. Sometimes that's what you got to do. Put your back to the wind and let it propel you forward. And, try to work out picking that shotgun seat, because, hear what? It is very, very important to have someone that is aligned with the goals that you're setting, because all of that love, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say on that, because I don't want to cause any bad breakups or divorces. So I'll let you guys make those decisions for yourself. Choose your passenger seat rider very, very wisely. And yeah, turn your back to the wind. Don't let anybody put any flatulent wind in your face. You might want to turn your back to that and let it propel you away from them. So that's it. Renee always has something to say, and I'm sure I'll come up with something else to say. I got the dress on, so that means I'll probably have something else to talk about. But we're under 20 minutes, guys, so See you next time. Bye.